Hello, my name is Raven and I crave artistic expression. Welcome to my tree cave. Part 1, I talked about almost killing myself. Part 2, I'm going to talk more about why I didn't and my progress on how I've been healing mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. I'll even share some things that I'm still working on because I am not perfect. Now, I can sit here and say that I did self-help books and journal, but that is not all that I did. And I really want to get into more of the fun things that I did that helped me bring back my childlike desire to live life. But first, here are all the book recommendations in case you want to check them out yourself. Go ahead and screenshot. And I suggest buying a journal, some page markers, highlighters, sticky note the pages that speak to you, and journal the pages that trigger you. And I'm sure some of these books are free on Kindle Unlimited as well. These help me understand my brain in so many ways that I didn't know that I could. Essentially, this will teach you shadow work. Shadow work is a psychological process in uncovering the hidden and often ignored parts of the human consciousness to become more self-aware and whole. It helps acknowledge uncomfortable emotions like anger, insecurity, to reduce self-sabotage and improve mental and emotional health. I'll name 2 books out of the 8 that left an impression on me, and all of them are pretty powerful, but you can kind of use this as a place to start. Book 1, The Mindful Way Through Depression. This could help you shift your relationship with negative thoughts from trying to fix your depression and more towards accepting and navigating it. I enjoy this one because it opened up my mind to the idea that depression isn't something that just goes away. And the more you focus on trying to get rid of it, it creates this unhealthy pattern because you should really be focusing on acknowledging it and what acknowledging it really means. Book 2, It Didn't Start With You by Mark Rowland. I don't know if I'm saying that name right. It writes almost like a study of how your unresolved traumas from parents, grandparents, and even your ancestors are passed down, manifesting as anxiety, depression, or illness. So if you're suffering from depression and you don't have toxic parents and you haven't suffered through anything traumatic in your life and you're wondering, why do I feel this way? I don't understand why my mind has suddenly taken a dark turn. This book can help you decipher that. This journey wasn't easy at all. It still isn't. There are many issues and many bad habits that I'm still breaking, like my relationship with food. I have an eating disorder. I still struggle with anxiety. I also still struggle with being vulnerable sometimes. But you see, that's the harsh reality about fighting depression, is that you are going to have to consistently, and I mean consistently, work on yourself, fail, make mistakes, have pushbacks, have bad days, have good days. It's not a I did this once, so I should be fine now kind of thing, or it was easy today, so it should be easy tomorrow. No, it's adapting to routine, and sometimes the action has to come first before the mental approval. So even when you don't feel like showering, shower. Even when you want to rot in your dirty bed, get up, wash your sheets. You become accustomed to saying, even though I don't feel like I deserve self-care today, I'm gonna give it to myself anyway. Or I'm not doing this because I want to. I'm doing this because I have to. It will eventually lead to, I deserve to feel good. I deserve to eat. I deserve to be loved by myself. I deserve to feel loved by those I care about. But all that takes time and many tug-of-war battles. You will cry some nights. You will wonder what's the point, and if you are even making progress at all. You will feel like you're not doing enough. But please, please, please give yourself grace. It's okay. You are going to be okay. Accomplishing one thing a day is enough and a beautiful start. I had to be my own anchor in this. I didn't have anyone to lean on, and to be honest, I don't think you're supposed to. No one is gonna hold your hand and say, no, get up, do what you're supposed to do today so you don't feel like shit later. During this process, when it feels like you are learning to walk again, learning to value you over anyone else and their opinions, good or bad, you will feel a sense of freedom. I was so torn on misunderstandings, and it took so much for me to understand that not everyone is going to get it, and not everyone has to. Not everyone needs to know every nook and struggle in your story in order to understand you. It just doesn't work like that. No one will understand your story better than you do. Not your parents, not your friends. And the sooner you understand that, the sooner you can stand on your own 2 feet without needing others' approval on your existence. And there is nothing wrong with validation, but when you use it to define your worth, it becomes a problem. Because what happens when people don't care or don't believe you? What happens when they don't agree and say, that never happened, when they don't understand, you see? Listen, you are enough. And it may take a while to believe that, but never take your eyes off that horizon and never stray from that path. You'll get there. And even if you do stray, it's okay. GPS exists. You can always find your way back. That's the beauty of growth. It's not a one-way road. So now we're going to get into more of the fun stuff. I forced myself to invest time in hobbies. Engaging in creative or calming activities can help lower your cortisol levels. Doing things you love releases endorphins, which are natural feel-good chemicals that elevate your mood. Learning skills build confidence and self-esteem. Hands-on activities encourage focus on the present moment, reduces ruminating on negative thoughts. I'm gonna start with anime. Anime is great because if you watch a show like Naruto, a popular one, not only would you feel seen, there are messages and strong themes that talk about not giving up when the world doesn't believe in you or when it feels like there is no way out of a dire situation. A lot of anime, surprisingly, will leave you feeling very validated and encouraged. I watch any and every genre, but my personal favorites are Hunter x Hunter and Bleach. Second, I got in touch with my spirituality. I grew up in a Christian home, but I knew I didn't belong in this religion when I started learning the reality of the world. I know some people in here that have different beliefs and are atheists, so I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable, but I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the divine realm. Things became much easier for me when I understood that I am of a higher consciousness, that I am a spiritual being living a human experience. And that's all I'm gonna say. I can make a separate video if you'd like to know more about my spiritual journey. Third, I picked up another hobby that I loved as a child: reading. Now careful, this one can be abused because it's so easy to escape to a world where there's dragons and elves versus dealing with your problems. Essentially, I was rearranging my priorities, my most important priorities, in order to escape and read. You should never fault yourself for not putting your feelings on paper right away. Sometimes you need time to process, and if reading helps you do that, so be it. Just as long as you give yourself the time. And the thing with therapy and journaling is that with therapy you have someone to hold you accountable. With journaling, you have to kind of rely on yourself, and that's why it's important not to break that routine. But when you get into that routine, it becomes harder to break that boundary with yourself. I love to read, especially about female main leads that give their enemies the middle finger when they're underestimated for their power. Those kinds of stories are very uplifting and can trigger me to be motivated on achieving my goals. Fourth, I learned a skill. I learned how to draw. I am no Picasso. No, but I can draw a slice of toast with legs and a face, or maybe an owl if I'm feeling like I can take on the challenge. Overall, I think drawing or any artistic hobby can quiet the mind, and from my previous videos, some of you may already know, I learned how to crochet. That is a huge way that I decompress when anxiety is high and I can't sit still. Crocheting stimulates me in many ways when I'm not overdoing it. Fifth, writing. I've always loved writing since I was a kid. I used to be a theater kid, so writing, and specifically script writing, was one of the best ways I expressed myself. It started with poetry, and then short stories, and then it grew into novels. Books, yeah, I'm writing full-on books, which is so crazy to say, but writing saved me. It served as a huge outlet for the emotions that I felt that I couldn't exactly say out loud. A lot of my stories were dark, and that darkness came from somewhere. And it used to make people feel uncomfortable, but at the same time, people felt like they could resonate with my work, and that's where I kind of felt seen. And it made me feel even more validated when people would tell me, thank you for being able to put exactly what I feel in words, because some people don't even know how to describe the emotions that they feel and the things that they go through. And my writing resonated with them, and it made them feel seen and validated in ways that they've never known they could. So writing saved me. It definitely saved me, and my writing saves others too, and that's very beautiful. But you want to know what saved me first before anything else? 6. Music. I got my first CD player when I was literally a toddler. This especially helps me when I feel overstimulated, feeling heavy with emotion, that I want to let it out without taking it out on others. Rock is my favorite genre, especially when I'm angry. Rock would do it. 7th, gaming. Another hobby I had as a child. Believe it or not, I was in my dad's chair playing video games on his PlayStation. And I remember just feeling so free. Again, this also can be abused, because just like reading, gaming can be used as an escape. And that's really what it was for me, because I owned an Xbox, a Wii, I had a PlayStation 2, I had a DS, a DSi XL. Oh, I had all the things. And so playing on my consoles was always a big deal for me. And even now, I've been getting slowly back into gaming again, but it really can be abused. Again, just be careful, because escape is nice, but you gotta come back to reality eventually. If you're actually stressed or having an episode, I recommend putting that on paper first before picking up any console or going online or doing anything. 8th, and my most important, spending time in nature. Whether it's a walk in the park or a nice little hike, nature truly is the best way to recharge. Especially when the sun is out and it's a warm spring day, take in that vitamin D. Vitamin D is actually really important. It helps with brain chemicals like serotonin and dopamine, which is essentially for mood regulation, motivation, and cognitive function. Nature is so important to me because not only am I spiritual, but I'm very deeply connected to my surroundings. Trees, water, dirt. I never feel more grounded, especially if you visit the ocean. The ocean is known to significantly boost mental and spiritual well-being by lowering stress hormones and triggers a calm, meditative state. It serves as a huge reminder that you are but a cell, a bacteria in this entire universe. And that doesn't mean that you are worthless, but that just like everything else in nature, you have a right to exist, and no one can take that away from you, not even yourself. Overall, put yourself out there. Leave your house. Open up them windows in your room. I know you like being in the dark. Open up them windows. Let a little bit of light in at least. And it's okay if you are by yourself. Invest time in your interests. Go to the movies. Buy a new cafe. An arcade. And if you have a hard time, pick a random one. In fact, Google all the hobbies that exist. Write it down on separate pieces of paper. Crumble it up. Put it in a bowl or a cup. Shake it up. Mix it up. Whichever one you pull out first will be the first one that you try. And if you don't like the experience, try again. Remember, action before mental approval. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I'm just someone who's been through some shit. I genuinely hope that you found at least some of my experiences helpful. Comment down below your thoughts, opinions, and again, this is a safe space. Let's all encourage and uplift each other on our journeys to internal peace.